What's up, football fans, and welcome back to the USFL Network. This is Polar Opposites, episode 2.3. I'm Ace, and as always, I am joined by Webb of @NOLA Breakdown on Twitter. And today we are doing a game preview of Week 1, Game 1, Generals versus Stallions. And we each picked the team that we think is going to win and did an overview of that team to give you a little bit of insight onto who's playing and the coaching staffs. So, Webb, how you doing?
Good. I'm ready to prove that my team's going to win on week 1.
You think that the Stallions are going to win on week
without a doubt. Man, I love Skip.
I'll admit, I think they have a better chance than the Breakers. I'll give you that.
All right.
This is Polar Opposites.
He's throwing shots already. But I love the Stallions team, man. Skip Holtz, first time he's ever drafted a team, right? And it seemed like he took a lot of pride in it. And I don't know if you've heard the podcast and everything that he does. There's a lot of excitement that comes out of it. And I think it's going to rub off on this team. And with a lot of small college players, they do have some big names, but with a lot of the small college mid-major, this is their shot to shine. So I love that John Chavis is his defense coordinator. Chavis was the longtime coach at Tennessee, defensive coordinator during the Peyton Manning years, all the way up to the mid-2000s. And then he went to LSU and started winning championships. He coached Jared Mayo and Tyrann Mathieu. So, he's been around for a while, and he's really fun. Big linebacker guy. So that's part of the reason why I like it. And then another coach is Larry Curtsey. The legendary coach. He coached Jerry Rice back in '95. He's their running backs coach, which is not his normal position, but it could tell you a little bit. It could tell you a little bit about the running backs. They like to catch the ball in the backfield. So, but he was the coach when Rice in '95 when Rice had 122 catches. So, pretty big deal. But the top storyline for the team is definitely the QB battle in Week 1. I know we talked about it on almost every episode. Magoo versus Davis Smith, man.
Every episode.
Because it's the Louisiana Tech guy versus the unknown, even though the unknown might be more talented as a passer. Magoo's a solid guy. I know we probably didn't see a lot of him in college, but he's a solid guy. But his backup is Louisiana Tech, so that's
one thing I'll give Alex Magoo is I think he may have the title of best hair among the USFL QBs.
So you saw
he's got that going for him. I saw those pictures.
Those tweets today with the quarterback.
He's got the flow. I could have mistaken him for a hockey player. Let's say that.
Yeah, definitely. Their receivers are big. They're big wideouts. Vic Bolden, electric punt returner. I think
that's a good name.
He had 2,000 yards in college for returning yards. He's a big-time play. And then Osrius Mitchell from Ole Miss, he's just a big guy. He didn't put up great stats at Ole Miss, but he's a big guy, and he played SEC football for 4 years, so, you're pretty talented. The running backs, like I said, are Tony Brooks-James and C.J. Maribel and Sage Surratt and Bobby Holly, and they've got a lot of guys to block them. So I think the running backs, they're going to be run first. I think we both agree on that, yes?
I agree. I think probably more passing out of the backfield than we're expecting, but yeah run first.
I think it's going to be a lot of quick passes. That's just how Skip Holtz kind of played at Louisiana Tech. The linebackers will be solid. Going to defense now, the linebackers will be solid with Scooby Wright. He's an All-American. He's Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. Bronco Nagorski award winner. The corners are so underrated. I don't know if you've Tay Hills had 9 interceptions in 26 games in his college career. That's pretty good ratio.
That's okay.
Yeah,
he couldn't get 10. He couldn't hit the double digits.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And then Brian Mills, I know he went to a smaller school. I believe it was North Carolina A&T, but he had 3 picks in one game. Every single defensive back that they have creates turnovers, and that's kind of a big deal, right? And then the defensive line, Willie Yarber, he's famous. Do you know why Willie Yarber is famous?
I have no idea.
He's D tackle from Wake Forest. He's the only person in college to sack Lamar Jackson twice in one game.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
In Lamar's whole career. So
when it comes to Louisville quarterbacks, I'm a Teddy Bridgewater guy. So,
No. And then you got Aaron Adoye, half of the brother combination that were drafted. He played college basketball and football. He played with the Ravens, Jets, and Packers now. So he's a big DN. But I like this team, and I ranked their defense as the second best defense, and you were shocked. You ranked them 8th. So
I ranked them last.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this team. I really am. And like I was telling you before the show, I could see them finishing 2nd, 3rd, or 4th in the South. I think the South's so balanced, and I think this team can finish 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. I think Tampa's the only one we're all chasing. But
that's fair. I don't think that the North is necessarily as close. I think the Stars are probably my number 1 team, and I think the Generals are chasing their ankles at number 2. And I will tell you why. The Generals, their head coach is going to be Mike Riley. He's known for his coaching at Oregon State and Nebraska, but he also has good spring football experience. He was the head coach of the San Antonio Commanders and the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Dragons in the XFL. He's known for inside zone running and vertical passing, and you can tell by the way he drafted. So I think we should be ready to see Ben Holmes throw deep balls, but the offense inevitably will be decided by his offensive coordinator, Steve Smith. This is a retired fullback turned offensive coordinator. He was the O-line coach under Mike Riley for the Seattle Dragons, so they already have a working relationship. They know how they work together. And he's coached basically every single position on the offense when you look him up. Like, I don't know if he missed one. So he was an offensive line coach, running back coach, wide receiver coach, all of it. So it makes sense for him to call plays for them all if he's coached them all. And then on the other side of the ball, we have Chris Dishman, defensive coordinator, former NFL cornerback, and he has also coached a good amount of the defensive positions, but mostly defensive back, which I think makes sense when you look at the defensive backs and the veterans that they drafted. But he has some alt football coaching under his experience as well, the last 2 being the defensive back coach for the Montreal Alouettes. and in the XFL, he was coach for the New York Guardians, also defensive back. So he's got the experience in these kind of leagues. He knows what he's looking for. He knows the whole air raid thing, which I don't think is necessarily going to be what we're going to see from the league, but I think we will see it from the Generals. I mentioned Mike Riley, inside zone run, vertical passing, and I absolutely expect that because when you look at Ben Holmes and DeAndre Johnson, I don't necessarily know which one's going to start, but both of them have big arms and are known as gunslingers. And then when you look at the receivers, they literally just drafted speed. It's not like they were like, this guy's a great possession guy. This guy runs great routes. They said this guy can run downfield and he can do it fast. And you see that by they drafted their first receiver, Cavante Turpin out of TCU, and they drafted the speedy 4x4 track runner, Chris Platt out of Baylor. Every guy is basically those guys. They're just speed. And then their running backs are shifty, hard runners that come from experienced, good schools in Mike Weber from Ohio State and Trey Williams. But then when you flip over to the defense, it's less high flying because they're specifically trying to stop that. And you can tell it because they have the big boys up front. A friend of the show, Toby Johnson. We love that guy. And they also have Destiny Vio, who is also a huge monster that's going to be up there in the middle with him. So they got the big guys. They're going to stop the run. And then they have some veterans at corner. When you saw some other teams go real young, the Generals kind of went pretty veteran on the defense. And so they got a bunch of guys who have NFL experience, TSL experience, XFL experience. I think that's going to make a great difference when you have a defense full of veterans going into a league that has 3 weeks to prepare a training camp. That's going to make the difference. And I think the Generals are going to pull it out. I'm saying the score is going to be 38-27 because you can literally have any score in this league.
That's a lot of points. I'm going to say 29-20, and I'm going to go with the Stallions.
38-27.
I'm writing it
Put it
down.
on the board. You can
Uh,
put it on the board. Yeah. You'll see it come week 1. And everybody else,
so
you will see who's right.
we'll see. It's kind of crazy that I don't know. The Stallions went completely opposite. Now, like after hearing your review, these receivers are just all big. Like they're not really fast. Like I know Vic Bolden's got wheels, but like the rest of the Stallions are just big receivers. Their tight ends are big guys, and you're talking about all speed on that side of the ball. So we're going to see
It
two
is
contrasting
literally
styles.
just speed.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
a ground and pound offense versus an air raid, and it's going to be cool to see. It's going to be an interesting juxtaposition of offenses.
Yeah.
And I mean, two pretty likable coaches, honestly. It's hard to root against any of the coaches in this league that aren't named Fedora, but
Oh, man, that's the bro, man. That's the bro of the show, man. He's great. I thought you were going to say a different name. I'm not going to mention it because I'm not going to ruin our relationships. But I thought, man, wow, Fedora, if you're watching, you come. All right, let's go.
all right. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great game week 1. It's going to be the opening game. Birmingham Stallions are playing their home game, even though they're technically home all year. And I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm excited to see what the game brings, what the representation from the league as far as their coverage, their analysts. It's going to be a lot of new. It's going to be really exciting. And I think the score is going to be that way. That's why I said it was going to be so high.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm all right with big scores. I just don't know after 3 weeks, do you get big scores? So I guess I wasn't much off, right? I was 29-20. So
Yeah.
that's
But,
still
Rome wasn't built in a day, but the USFL was built in a year. So I'm cool with it. I think it's exciting. But everybody watching, we've told you what we think. Let us know what you think. Let us know who you think is right in our upcoming poll and why was it me? So thank you for watching.
soon we will have our own polar opposite poll. There won't be no bias where the votes are going one way or the other. We're gonna have our own Twitter, so you can officially
Maybe we'll put it on the website. Hint, hint.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
There you go.
All right. Catch you next week.